booktube. This is my February TBR, and I'm gonna be a little all over the place here because it's been a while since I sat down and filmed like a video that wasn't just like talking about what I'm currently reading. Anyways, I got my handy dandy book reading journal thing here that took up a lot of my time in January, but I love this. I love doing this. Just to look at some of the books that will not be in my box this month, because they are the Canada Reads selections and some leftovers from January. Canada Reads was announced for this year, and it will be happening the second week of March, so March 8th to March 11th are the days that it will be airing. So what I like to do is read the books in February and review them like the week before, and then do Canada Reads stuff the week of. So the selections this month, I will not be reading one of them because I've already read it. And that is Two Trees Make a Forest by Jessica J. Lee, and that was it actually made my favorite nonfiction list of 2020, and I read it for the Weston Prize, and I actually won the Weston Prize, so this is like a well-loved book. It's a memoir of Jessica J. Lee. She's interested in learning more about her Taiwanese history, and her personal history, her personal connection with that, her familial connection with that, and the history of Taiwan. But she's also really passionate about nature, so we follow her as she goes on hikes in Taiwan and writes about nature and the amalgamation of all her passions, and they come across very well as like so passionate. I love that we got to see her like completely geek out about, you know, flora in this place. It was really nice to see, and to see that passion come through. They all worked well together. Yeah, so that's one I won't be reading, but I thought I'd mention that it was on the Canada Reads list, so I'll only be reading 4 of them in February. So the first one is The Midnight Bargain by C.L. Polk, and this will be defended by Rosie Eddy, or Ade, and she's an Olympian, I believe, and that's about a woman who has, from what I gathered really quickly of what I've seen, is about a woman who has to decide whether she is going to, whether she's going to use her magical powers or whether she's going to have children, because it seems like she can't do both, kind of like, I guess, what happens in The Witcher, if you're familiar with that. So that sounds interesting. And then we have Johnny Appleseed by Joshua Whitehead. And Johnny Appleseed, I couldn't really get a fix on if there was one straight plot or if it was just about a person. I know Joshua Whitehead is a Two-Spirit. Oh, I don't have their tribe written down. Sorry. But anyways, Johnny Appleseed seems to be about a young queer man, or queer person, I guess, if they're Two-Spirit, coming into their identity is what I think. I don't like knowing too much about books going in case you can't tell. I like very vague kind of information. Hench is actually going to be defended by Paul Sung-Hwang Lee, and he's actually Appa from Kim's Convenience, if you watch that, so I was really excited to see him. And that book is about a henchwoman working for villains, so that just sounds quite cool. Get that kind of perspective that we don't normally get. And lastly is Butter Honey Pig Bread by Francesca Ekuyazi. And this will be defended by Roger Mooking, who I know from the Food Channel. I absolutely love the Food Channel, so I'm torn about who I'm going to support. I guess it will all come down to which book is the best for me. And Butter Honey Pig Bread is about twin girls, I believe, and their mother believes that they're cursed. Like the whole family's cursed, not just the twins, but herself as well. So it's about that. That sounds really quite intriguing. Anything else on here that won't be in the box? Yes. I was not able to finish, what's the name of the Vernal's Inquest, so book 3 in Jerusalem by Alan Moore, just because I hit the Lucia chapter, and it is so full of homophones, so like he'll say this word, and unless you read it out loud, you have no clue what's going on, because the words are all jumbled, and sometimes the words are out of place in a sentence too, so it's easy enough to understand if you concentrate on it, but you have to concentrate on it. So I haven't been able to do that because there's a lot of stuff in real life that I have to deal with. You know, most of it dealt with now. Just in terms of like organization in my home and stuff like that. Yeah, and my audiobook I think I'll probably carry over a little. And that is The Grey House by Miriam Peterson. And that's carrying over because I decided almost halfway through the month to DNF my original audiobook, and it didn't leave enough time for me to finish this audiobook. I thought I could, but I didn't, and that's okay. I don't have a problem carrying that over because I'm highly enjoying The Grey House, which is about a group of, it's like a group home / boarding school, because I don't think they go home for like holidays or summers or anything. Like once they're in the school, they're in the school until they graduate, of disabled boys. And there's girls, but they're not really featured in the story. It's mostly this group of boys between the ages of like 12 and 18. And the atmosphere is just amazing, amazing. I don't even care about the plot. I just care about the characters and the atmosphere, which is kind of like fairy tales, kind of this creepy sense. I kind of think of like 80s teen movies, but not like the Pretty in Pink, the Brat Pack movies, but like The Lost Boys or The Goonies and stuff like that. Like, that's what I think of more. So anyways, if you are unaware of my TBRs, I like to wrap them up. This is for many reasons I won't go into because this video is already long enough. So let's just get into it. My card will have all my digital reads. I plan on doing ebooks and audiobooks. All of the Canada Reads books will be ebooks. So let's see what we have. Okay. Oh, and my comics are all e-comics. So I'll be reading Road to Perdition, which is, oh golly, let's see if I can remember. I think it's a crime one. Yeah, I can't remember who it's by. I didn't write that down. I'll put it on the screen anyways. And then we have Deer Hunting with Jesus as my audiobook, which is about exploring why people living on or near or below the poverty line and who are deeply conservatively religious, why they fell in with conservatism in regards to politics and stuff like that. And then my non-Canada Reads ebook will be Vita Nostra. Again, I don't have the author's names memorized. I should have written them down. But I believe that's about a young getting offered an opportunity to go to the school, but she's put in the school but without a choice or something like that. It has to do with magic and school systems anyways, which seems to be a trend. So let's open up my box. I'm going to open it facing me first in case it has an address on it. Nope. Okay, so we have February 2020's box in a, I don't know what what this box is for. Yay, new present. It's not even close to my birthday. Okay, let's open it. So there's my box. Some books will be wrapped and some won't. So I am jumping back into Malazan this month. I've already read, I left my bookmark in there, thankfully. I'm on page 114 when I decided to set this down last year. And that was only because I was too busy to give this the time it deserved. So hopefully that will no longer be the case and I could read this. This is book 4 or book 5? I think this is book 5. I'm not entirely sure. No, this is book 4 of the Malazan series, and it's amazing. I love this world and being in this world. So yeah, looking forward to getting back into that. So one of my goals this year was to reread some of my favorites so I can annotate and tab them, and this is one of my all-time favorites. I used to reread this a lot, and then I stopped rereading for a long time, and I decided to pick it up again, and this is Lord of the Flies by William Golding. I know a lot of people don't like this, but it is one of my favorite books of all time. So I'll be reading this book. I've had this book for a long time. I've reread it tons of times. The binding is starting to peel, but I've never annotated it. Oh look, yeah, 2006. So I've had this book for 15 years. And then each month I also want to read a book by a Black author and a book by an Indigenous author. So my Black author this month is Dionne Brand. She's a Canadian, and this is called Theory. This is about a person working on their thesis for their PhD and the 3 different relationships that come in and out of their life while they're working on it. So I figured relationships, February, Valentine's Day kind of fits together. And my Indigenous author for this month is Richard Van Camp, and this is Moccasin Square Gardens. This is a series of short stories. Okay, the characters of Moccasin Square Gardens inhabit Daninde, the land of the people north of the 60th parallel. These stories are filled with in-laws, outlaws, and common laws. Get ready for illegal wrestling moves, pinky promises, a doctor, casino, extraterrestrials, or sky people, love, lust, and prayers for peace. So that seems really interesting. And then we have my 3 wrapped books. If you don't know, I have all my unread books wrapped, so I don't know what they are, unless they were by a Black author, a Indigenous author, or they were about religion, because those were for specific goals. But these are just books I've owned for a long time. And this one's already halfway open, so let's start with this one. And, oh, okay, I've been looking forward to this one. Let's open it on camera. This is Please Look After Mom by Kyung Suk Shin. And when 69-year-old So Noi is separated from her husband among the crowds of the Seoul subway station, her family begins a desperate search to find her. Yet as long-held secrets and private sorrows begin to reveal themselves, they are forced to wonder how well did they actually know the woman they called Mom. Told through the piercing voices and urgent perspectives of a daughter, son, husband, and mother, Please Look After Mom is at once an authentic picture of contemporary life in Korea and a universal story of family love. Oh, cool. Okay, let's see what this next one is. Oh, no, that's the edge. Don't recognize this one. Oh, okay, this is cool. So, I skipped Canada Reads a few years, so I don't know if this, I don't know if this was a selection or it was just on the long list for Canada Reads. But this is Scarborough by Catherine Hernandez. Scarborough is actually a location in Ontario, about an hour and a half from where I live. So it's a low-income, culturally diverse neighborhood east of Toronto. Like many inner-city communities, it suffers under the weight of poverty, drugs, crime, and urban blight. The novel employs a multitude of voices to tell the story of a tight-knit neighborhood under fire, offering a raw yet empathetic glimpse into a troubled community that locates its dignity in unexpected places, a neighborhood that refuses to be undone. So I was actually really looking forward to reading this. I'm so excited so far. I'm kind of scared to open this one in case it's something I'm just kind of like meh about. So let's, or something I really want to read because my reading list is really long. I don't know what this one is. Okay. Cool, we got quite a diverse list here, don't we? Saga of the Volsungs, the Norse epic of Sigurd the Dragon Slayer. Source for Wagner's Ring and Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. Do I have to say anything else? It's short. It's partly in poetry and partly in prose. And this was translated by Jesse L. Bayok. So that is so cool. I'm really excited about all the diversity, like in both like authors and topics. So like Vikings, awesome. Contemporary, like near my location, awesome. I think this has to kind of deal with dementia. I think this kind of has to deal with dementia, which like also I'm involved in, plus it's a Korean author, Indigenous author, hilarious short stories, Black author, Canadian. I'm reading a lot of Canadian literature. Lord of the Flies, we got a classic there. We got like heavy fantasy, and then like I think the Canada Reads books, The Midnight Bargain is fantasy, Johnny Appleseed is contemporary, I think, Hench is science fiction, and Butter Honey Pig Bread is by a Nigerian Canadian. So like there's so much. I'm so excited for reading this month. Oh, And, you know, these ones aren't that big, so it won't be, you know, that, well, and then this. But I'm taking 2 months to read this. I'm elated that there's this much awesomeness going on in my February reading. I can't wait. It's only January still, but I can't wait to read these. Let me know what you'll be reading in February, and if you've read any of these, and if they're awesome or not, let me know down below, and thank you for watching.